when I hit lock 3 times, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. The car unlocks. It will crank and start, and then immediately relock. We have some wire cutters. You're going to need a pry tool or a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver or a Phillips bit that you can use in a drill, a 10mm socket that you can use in a drill, or you can use a ratchet if you'd like. We're going to use our impact drill, and then a piece of tape. You're going to use it to tape the TPMS extension wire onto the end of this. And what this is a long zip tie that's used in HVAC applications. You can pick these up at Lowe's or Home Depot. We cut the head of it off, you tape the wire on, and then you pull it from the driver's side over to the passenger side. What we're going to do is remove the bottom steering shroud off of the column. You're going to take the key, insert it into the ignition, and turn it on. That releases the steering lock. You're going to turn it, and you're going to see a Phillips screw here, so remove that. And then there's another one on the other side. Go ahead and remove that. Now come over here by the headlight switch stock, and you're basically going to put your pry tool in here and pop it down and release it. And now do the same thing on the other side, and it will come out just like so. So at this point, this is where we do the install here at the shop. So the main ignition switch is going to be right back in here. It's this big cream colored, off-white colored, whatever you want to call it, connector here. Plugs right in. There's another connector underneath the dash right here, which is the OBD2, you can see right here. And then the other one is the 30-pin VCM connector, which I have unplugged so you can kind of see which one it is. It plugs right into the module above that other connector. See the open housing there? That's where that connector plugs in. So you have 3 T-harnesses. You're going to plug one back in here, one at the ignition switch, and the other one right down here at the OBD2. The next thing we're going to do is remove that kick panel down here in the corner, but in order to do that we need to either remove this or loosen it up because it overlaps the panel right here. So just take a screwdriver or pry tool, you can put it in here. This will pop up, allow you to get your fingers in it, and then just release it like so. Next, behind the emergency brake pedal, there's a plastic nut that you need to remove, and that will allow you to remove the kick panel completely. Once you guys have the plastic nut off back there, you can just kind of grab it down here. It's already loose enough, but up here there's a tab and you'll have to pop it loose, and you'll see that there's a plastic tab that inserts right here into the hole. The next one we're going to do is pop off this dash end cap. So again, take the pry tool, we'll just pop this thing off right here and set it aside. Once you guys have access, you're going to have a 10mm bolt right here, and then use your screwdriver, and there's a Phillips screw over on the right hand side. Once you have the bolt out and the screw out, you can go ahead and take your hand and pull on the dash panel, and this will release. And then on the right side, do the same thing. You're going to grab it kind of like where this is and pull straight out, and it will come down like that. Once you guys have the lower dash panel just kind of setting down here, we're going to go ahead and just drop the airbag portion. It's optional. You have access to everything and you have a way to mount the module back in here. It's just easier to drop this and give you access to everything. There's a couple 10mm bolts. Just go ahead and remove them. There's 4 of them. And then just go ahead and lift up and set her down right here on the floor. So I usually start at the ignition switch. I take the big off-white colored connector up here and take the OEM connector and plug it into our harness, and then take our harness and plug it back in to the ignition switch like so. This is long enough where you can fold it over and zip tie it down along the main wire harness here. The next connector that we're going to install is the OBD2 T-harness. So just take your screwdriver or pry tool or whatever you want. So there's a tab on the left and the right. You have to push this in. So you squeeze the side and then it pokes back through the bracket. So once you have the OEM one out, you can pop ours into place. Go ahead and plug the factory one into the other end of ours. And then that leaves you with the BCM connector, which comes right over to here. There's usually a couple connectors over here inside the BCM. There's only one plug that's gonna fit our T-harness. It's usually the one with the most wires in it. So if you see a couple in here and you're not sure, just unplug one and try to plug it into ours, because you can't screw it up. There's only one that's gonna fit. The last thing that we need to install is the TPMS T-harness. This goes in the passenger kick panel. What we do is this plugs in over on the driver's side. The other extension, this is where the tape comes in. You tape it to our zip tie and then we fish it over to the passenger side, and I'm gonna show you that right now. You might come over here and pull this carpet down before you fish over, but I got lucky, so when I pulled the carpet down, the fish tape was just sitting back here. So go ahead and grab it, and then there's our wire, and we're coming over to the passenger kick panel. So what you're gonna have to do is the same scenario that we did on the driver's side. There's a plastic nut up here, so you're gonna go ahead and take that off, and you're gonna have to pop up the seal plate. You can either remove the whole thing like I did on the driver's side, or just pop it up and get access to the kick panel like this. The next thing you're gonna do is route that wire up underneath that carpet. So you basically just pull the carpet back, route the wire over, and you're gonna end up exiting right here on the floor in the corner. So you're gonna butt connect, just match up the colors. So green goes to green, red goes to red. The connector that you're looking for is this white one over here. So there's a blank spot and then a white one. So you unplug this, and then you're gonna go ahead and plug that into our harness, which I can't do one-handed, and then plug our other end into the car right there. How this works is you can press the lock button on your factory key fob 3 times. The car is locked right now, so let me show you that. So when I hit lock 3 times, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. The car unlocks. It will crank and start, and then immediately relock. So what that does is disarm the alarm. It allows the car to crank and then rearms the alarm, so everything is still intact. Hit the unlock button, you can get in, the car stays running. You can see the tack there, she's running. Takeover process is put the key in the ignition and 2 clicks forward. So you got accessory and on, so you go 1, 2, press and release the brake pedal. We're still running, and now you can pull it out of park, put it in drive, and drive off.